Hey everybody, it's Sean from ouRVision Nomadic Living. And in today's video, it's just going to be kind of a quick video showing some repairs, maintenance, just some issues that have reared their head with Nate and Shaylies' new trailer. And I'm going to go ahead and resolve those issues. Now please keep in mind that when you have a trailer, in order to make that experience somewhat enjoyable, you really ought to be comfortable picking up a screwdriver and dealing with some of these issues. If not, I think you're going to get really frustrated fairly quickly with these trailers. And that's just part of it. It's always been part of it. But that being said, please don't take this as a negative video. I'm not pointing these out to just be condescending towards the brand or anything like that. It's just in my experience, these things happen, and they happen fairly regular no matter what brand you have. So anyways, follow me. We're going to take care of a couple of these issues, and maybe you'll catch a pointer or two. So right here in the front cubby, as you can see, hopefully, the paneling's already worked its way loose. And so Nate and Shaylee have towed this trailer approximately, probably about 90 miles so far. So I'm going to reattach that paneling, hopefully a little bit better than what the factory did. And then of course, and this is a very common thing, when you have an underbed storage, it's very common for those brackets to get torn out of the pine boards that they put them in. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually gonna create a different type of a bracket. As you can see, you know, the screws themselves have just totally ripped out of that board. So trying to reattach them back in that board by itself isn't gonna solve the issue. And then one of the other projects that I'm going to showcase today has to do with, so here we are on the inside of the front door, and these molding pieces that they put in to help cover the gap between the door frame and the wall board, as you can see down here, has already worked its way loose. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get a good picture in here. I will try. Is that it's such a narrow piece, they caught the very edge of the wall board, and it didn't even take a grip. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take some hot glue. I'm going to hot glue this back down, and then I'm gonna clamp it so that hopefully that will take care of that. So here's the thing. Nate and Shaylee could schedule an appointment down at the dealership, drop this off, and wait however long it takes for them to get it done. Of course, that all depends too on when they can actually get an appointment to get it in, because this kind of stuff theoretically would have to be dealt with under warranty, but the headache and the hassle of that is just a pain. So again, it's not necessarily a negative. I don't want people to think that this is a negative video, but what it is it's a real life example of some of the things that you have to deal with, and then you have to make a decision of your own, whether you have the skills, are good with a screwdriver, that kind of stuff. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. But I can see how people who may not have some of those skills can get frustrated very quickly with owning a trailer when you have these little items pop up. Now another thing that happened, and I'm just going to show this right now. So this is the U-shaped dinette, and Nate came to me, and of course Shaylee came to me and said, there's no bracing on this part of the backrest. And you know, they have three littles, and they were worried about their 4-year-old jumping back and forth and creating an issue, because quite literally this, you could lean on it and it would lean all the way back. So what I did while we were camping, because there was no upper support, was I went ahead and I put a little bracket right there to give it some support. But you can certainly see if there's nothing to attach that upper part of the dinette, backrest that leaning against it, it was just wobbling back and forth. And again, just one of those things that, you know, their first trip out, it was like, yeah, this isn't going to last very long unless we are somehow able to reinforce it, which I did. Okay, well, I ran a bead of hot glue underneath the trim, between the trim and the wallboard. Now I'm going to clamp it. And there we go. Put a little piece of a shim there to help distribute the force of that clamp over there, and we'll let that sit there, and hopefully that'll resolve that issue. Alright everybody, as you saw, I took some angled tin and drilled 4 holes in it using the bracket as a reference. I then positioned the angled tin and bracket on the wood support, and using 2 of the holes I drilled completely through the wood support, and then using nuts and bolts secured the revised bracket to the support. Then the 2 holes closest to the plywood, I just put wood screws in. I then put 2 additional screws in the ends of the angled tin to further secure it to the wood support. Got that panel reattached up there, and I put in a couple of screws just to help keep it from coming down again. And as you can see from the underside, that's what we did with that brace, well, with that shock mount. Well, just a couple of projects for the afternoon to get those things resolved. You know, the glue seems to be holding up well on that door trim. You saw the bracket, and of course I got that paneling stapled and screwed back up where it belongs. And again, these are just things that happen all the time. You know, you go down the road, these panels, which are mostly put on by staples, you know, they'll work themselves loose. And it's just a constant thing. Not that it's any different with the sticks and brick. You're constantly doing some kind of a home project with your home. You just got to keep in mind that as these things go down the road, stuff shakes, rattles, and rolls, and hopefully you've got some of the skills and mindset to be able to resolve those things without constantly having to worry about trying to get them into a shop, because again, I know how aggravating it can be trying to set up an appointment, especially for something that potentially could be a minor issue. Alright, well, I really appreciate everybody sticking around. Like I said, maybe you picked up a thing or two. I just wanted to kind of showcase that even on brand new trailers, stuff happens. And if you have some skills and ambition, you can probably take care of those on your own. Because taking them back to a dealership on every little thing could get to be an extremely frustrating process. So if you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe and follow Angie, Jazz, and I on our journey. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you down the road.